You're listening to Remotely One, a podcast that educates, entertains, and inspires you to take your life back from the office commute. I'm Rick, a former beer rep who left the warehouse to become a voice actor and digital creator.
And I'm Kaleem, a remote work advocate and consultant. We're going to speak with some of the top professionals who have managed to avoid the commute as they share stories from the most inspiring to the most comical, all while working remotely.
Man, this sounds awesome. Let's clock in.
I'm from the Netherlands, where I currently am. Rotterdam, the Netherlands.
Oh man, how do we get out there, Rick?
I don't know, but that's a dream that has long been
Figure out a
unfulfilled.
way to pay for us to get out there. If you got a hookup, let us know.
Have you never been?
Never.
No, and the accent is unbelievably attractive. I love it.
If you could teach us how to swear in Dutch on the show, it would go viral.
Ooh.
Dutch people actually are the worst in the world with swearing. Like, we swear with diseases. That's like typical for Dutch people. But let's do a non-offensive Dutch swear word that I would love to hear your accent in, which is gadverdamme.
One more time.
Gadverdamme.
Hot for damas. It's hot for dama over here.
I got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for damas.
Hot for damas.
Maybe this word is not a swear word, but it's a city in the Netherlands. Scheveningen.
One more time.
Scheveningen.
I love this so much.
I couldn't hear you because Kaleem was laughing too hard.
Sorry, one more time.
Okay, one more time. Scheveningen.
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 So this is when you ever come visit the Netherlands and you know this word, Scheveningen, you're seen as a typical local Dutch person.
Shawamanamani. Welcome back, everyone, to Remotely One. I am your co-host, Rick Haney, joined by my esteemed colleague, Kaleem Clarkson. Hello, Kaleem.
Oh, hello, sir. I love you in these glasses, bro. You look professional. I mean, you always look professional.
Yeah, today is a special day. I had to wear the glasses because I've been getting such bad headaches lately, and part of it is eye strain, so I just did it.
Okay. I mean, the studio's looking good. Studio's looking good. Yes. You're looking good. I'm feeling good.
It's good to be back. So a couple of quick housekeeping tips for our listeners and viewers. Since you already know how to find us, do us a huge favor and go to ratethispodcast.com/remotely one and just leave us a review. That would be amazing, and we would be ever so thankful if you could do that for us.
Thank you.
Since 2015, Remotely One is one of the largest communities of remote work professionals with over 3,000 Slack members and 5,000 email subscribers. And if I'm not mistaken, that number is still growing. It's absolutely free to join. So go ahead and check us out at remotelyone.com. And with that out of the way, Kaleem, give us a tease or two about today's guest.
Oh yeah. Another nervousness. I'm nervous.
Nervous Nelly over here. Nervous Nelly.
Our guest is over here cracking up. Now she's got me cheesing real hard. But it's the accent, Sir Rick. It's the best accent. I love it. Because she's originally from the Rotterdam, Netherlands, and is currently a resident guest. Is that where you're residing? Is that correct?
It is, yes.
Wow. Well, I already want to go there.
Yeah, she said she's going to fly us out.
Yep.
Yes. She has a master's degree in marketing management from Rotterdam School of Management.
Yes.
Oh, this is some fun stuff. She's an identical twin.
Oh.
Who, funnily enough, is not living in the Netherlands. So she's currently living in Portugal, where I'm about to move as well.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Fantastic.
And Rick, most people don't know this, but she's half Dutch and half Indonesian, which is interesting, right? I mean, like...
Well, there's some geographical history there that we're probably going to learn about.
There it is.
And the best kitchen in the world.
Oh, wow.
And she once went out on a date with her and her identical twin, dating two other identical twins. Can you imagine that, son? Can you imagine that?
Sounds like a Double Mint gum commercial.
What was the jingle? You know the jingle, son. You know you know
Double pleasures waiting for you, Double Mint gum.
Oh my gosh. She was formerly a sales lead and consultant at LinkedIn. So she knows.
Wow, that's big time.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing when it comes to LinkedIn. Check out her LinkedIn profile and you'll definitely see it. She is also a LinkedIn top voice of remote work. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Part of the fraternity.
Exactly. Next to professionals like yourself. So happy to be included.
Yes.
She is the co-creator of Remote Workers Worldwide, which is a LinkedIn group and a community with over 100,000 members, listeners, and viewers. Please give a warm welcome to Mandy Fransz. Let's go, Mandy Fransz.
Okay, people, settle down.
Settle down,
people.
Studio,
you in the front, down in the
my
front.
Gosh.
Wow.
Woo,
Wow.
we did it. We made
I've
it.
never had such a warm welcome. So thank you guys for pressuring me up. But very excited to be here and to speak with you
We
today.
are so excited that you're here to just learn from you. I mean, I want to hear all about the Netherlands. I want to hear all about your experience. But Mandy, first and foremost, why remote work? What was the spark that kind of led to your passion for remote work?
Ooh, now we go way back. Thanks for that question, Rick.
So what year? Set it up.
What year? Well, actually, to go really way back, actually, I remember when I was in elementary school. So I'm from a small town next to Rotterdam, the Netherlands, actually. And I remember when my teacher asked me back then, I was like probably 7 or 8 years old. And my teacher asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I just want to travel the world. Back then, I was 7 years old, and I knew back then already I wanted to see more than that small town in the Netherlands. I wanted to travel the world, to explore different cultures, including Indonesia, where my roots are from. And I stuck to that promise ever since. So I studied international business administration in Rotterdam as well for my studies, and then did a master in marketing management. And after that, I decided to not apply for any jobs in an office, but to go and explore the world of remote work, actually. I booked a trip to South America first, where I backpacked for 2 months around whole South America. So I went all the way from Chile to the North Colombia and also to Central America. And I started a blog with my twin sister, actually, the Backpacking Twins.
Stop it. You're just doing twins, just never separated, are you? Ever separated?
We did everything together, same studies, same work, and also this blog where we both wanted to figure out how to work remotely. So this has always been both of our dreams to somehow be a digital nomad. But back then we had no clue how to get started. And
roughly what year is this, just to give our audience, some context?
I think this was probably 2014, 2015-ish. So that's about 8 years ago
So
now.
this is long before the pandemic, before everybody
way
tried
before,
it all.
yeah, way before the pandemic.
So plain and simple, you and your sister, you graduate, I'm assuming you graduate college at this point, and you both decide, let's go to South America. And I mean, you just basically two twins with a backpack on. Did you have the same backpack?
We actually had the same backpack. And,
Come on! When are you individuals?
This must be such a cool concept, right? Like a twin backpacking with the same backpack. But we were so
Actually, genius.
No, we couldn't be more wrong. It was a massive fail. We didn't make any single cent. So we didn't make it work for this time. But actually, maybe a fun sidetrack story to that is that actually for my master, so this was when I graduated. We both graduated. We decided to travel and make the Backpacking Twins happen. But actually during my master degree, I decided to use, because I already had a blog for a few years, to use this blog post as part of my master thesis. So I spent months just using my blog to kind of prove to companies that, the engagement, or it pays off to have remote workers share their stories to attract more tourists, to attract more people to the country, etc. And this is what I used for myself to eventually to start my remote journey and have evidence that it pays off to start a digital nomad lifestyle. So
that's fascinating.
So you finally get there, and was there like a trial and error kind of thing? Did you immediately feel comfortable? Were there some hurdles when you were like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, or was it just pretty much like a smooth sailing from the get-go?
No, not at all. So we started this blog and we tried out, we had a Facebook group, an Instagram page, etc. But back then, this digital nomadism and remote work was very new and not many people at all were living this lifestyle. I had the fortunate that LinkedIn reached out to me for a job opportunity at LinkedIn. And I initially thought this was based in the US in San Francisco, but it turned out to be in Dublin, Ireland, where I'd never been before. But that's actually how I landed my first full-time job in an office in LinkedIn's European headquarters. So I couldn't say no to LinkedIn. So I eventually decided to, get rid of the backpacking twins or not continue that project, and then to work for LinkedIn and, have my very first and full-time corporate experience, which was like a red carpet deal. I always like to say there were, I had world-class perks and benefits from in-office barista bar, free gym, and 5-star food, etc. And it was also the first experience without my twin sister. So it was the first time.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. The first time.
Finally, some separation.
Wait, so what did she do? So you decide, hey, sis, LinkedIn just called. This backpack stuff isn't working. Now, were you working as a digital nomad, or did you just kind of save some money and were just enjoying traveling? Were you trying to actually earn money while you were working in a new country?
Yes. At the time when we had the blog, we were trying to figure out how we can make money online, but that didn't work out. So we didn't make any money.
Okay.
And then I started working for LinkedIn, and she started working for herself. She actually built this company that she was organizing trips for remote workers and digital nomads all around the world.
Nice.
So she continued on that journey, on that path, and I joined LinkedIn, and that's actually my job within LinkedIn was to help other companies how to leverage LinkedIn as a platform to find clients online. So by using LinkedIn rather than a recruitment platform, using LinkedIn to build your personal brands, to grow your network with your target audience, you can also find clients online, and that's when it's kind of clicked, where I was like, well, if I can basically do this from anywhere, because I was working in Dublin, but my clients were based in the Netherlands, I was thinking I can do this for myself as well and find clients for myself as a freelance consultant. And that's how I decided to quit my job back in 2018. Back then, I didn't really have to plan to start my own consulting business yet, but I booked a ticket to Bali. This was 2018. I booked a ticket to Bali to surround myself with like-minded people and also to see, what they were doing. And
the digital nomad hotspot, right? You had to go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured where in the world do I have to be to figure out? And both my roots are there, but also it's one of the most popular destinations for remote workers and digital nomads. So I wanted to surround myself with people who were one step ahead of me. And this worked out well. So within 30 days, I had my first freelance clients. And then I had obviously the skills and the backpack now filled with experience, having worked at LinkedIn, to find my own clients online as a freelance consultant. So that's what I've been doing.
So your time at LinkedIn, so you took the job and they're based in Ireland. Did you actually move yourself there physically, or did LinkedIn say, hey, we want you to do this remotely? Because like this, for a lot of people, pitching remote work to their supervisors, to their companies, probably the only chance some of these people are going to work remotely. So what is it that you did in that when they said, hey, we want to hire you in Ireland? How did you manage that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I originally thought that the job was based in the US because a US person reached out to me on LinkedIn. Turned out to be Ireland, so I did the whole interview process remotely. But I had to be based in Ireland because that's where the headquarters was based. So I actually moved to Ireland with all my stuff, didn't know anyone, no family, no friends, and just decided to move there without even having been to the country. I was lucky that I had an apartment eventually next to the office, like literally 2 seconds walk. So I didn't have a large commute, but I still needed to go inside the office every single day to show my face. The company culture is to work in a team and work in your office cubicle. And for me, so I really love the company culture and the people. So like I said, it was a red carpet deal, but after 2 years, I was really missing that, the freedom to work whenever I want, at what time, and wherever I want. So not to be stuck in Ireland where it's 200 days of average rain in the whole year.
Right. So, that was kind of a shock to you, I'm sure. But do you think that a lot of people who choose remote work kind of have stars in their eyes, and the reason for their choosing to work remotely is so they can go somewhere that they've never been And then once they get there, they realize maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Have you ever heard of those stories?
Yeah, of course. I think what's interesting. So now I manage this community, right, of 100,000 remote workers. We were, I think, 2,000 members when I joined this community. Obviously, during the pandemic, we exploded to 100,000 members. And my initial thought was as well that people want to work remotely to travel the world. That was my, my mission, or like why I wanted to work remotely. But actually, a lot of people want to work remotely just, again, for that freedom to work whenever and wherever you want, even if it's at home with family. So right now I'm in the Netherlands, and also one of the reasons, and I saw your post recently, Kalim, and I was still meaning to leave a comment, but I'm very bad in replying on LinkedIn, but about work and life balance and family quality time. So that's why we're now back in the Netherlands to spend more quality time with family here back home before moving to Portugal, because that's also a big reason why people want to work remote. So it's not, to answer your question, Rick, only about traveling and exploring the world, but also really to have that freedom to choose wherever you want to work.
Yeah. So tell us about remote work worldwide.
Yeah.
Are you a member, Rick?
Oh,
Not yet.
I am, Mandy. I am a member.
I was about to ask. So
I will be by the time the sun sets this afternoon, though.
please join the community, and maybe Kalim, you can add a link in the show notes or whatever for people, so that you can join the community for those who are interested in anything remote work. But yeah, remote workers worldwide, as we currently are named, you can find it by typing remote workers worldwide in LinkedIn in the search bar. And it really started out as a passion project. I was just working remotely for 6 months, I think. And then I still managed this LinkedIn community also with somebody working at LinkedIn, who started this group called Digital Nomads on LinkedIn to begin with. Back then, 2,000 members, like I said. And I was just craving for like-minded people to, to have a central space where we can learn from each other, exchange ideas, share stories, etc. And especially when you work remote, I think it's difficult. I actually quit my job and booked a ticket to Bali to be surrounded by like-minded people. So I wanted to create this virtual space where members can do that in not having to quit their job or not having to book a ticket to the other side of the world. So like I said, a passion project to start with. We changed the name a couple of times. We're now, instead of Digital Nomads, because I figured out, it's not just a digital nomad who wants to travel. Now we switched this to remote workers worldwide, because remote workers is basically both those who work from home or the digital nomad who wants to travel. But what they have in common is that freedom and flexibility, that they want to work from anywhere. Yeah, that's where we are today. Now we grew to 100,000 members. Actually, we hit 100,000 members this month. So it's very, very exciting time.
Congratulations.
So, Mandy, just quick question. So you had these experience, right? So you travel first as a digital nomad because you knew you wanted to travel with your twin sister. Then you're like, whoa, LinkedIn calls. We got to end this, this trip because we're not making any money selling our blog stuff. You go work for LinkedIn and you're loving it. I mean, you move to Ireland, but then a couple years into it, you're just like, my commute's nothing. I get it, but the freedom for me to see the world has been taken away. So you decided to go out on your own.
Yeah.
Once you made that decision, what were some of the first things that you thought that you could help either individuals or companies with? So you created the remote work worldwide. So what type of services does Mandy offer to either individuals or organizations?
Yes. So what I initially started out with, like I said, I wasn't planning really to start my own consulting business. I thought maybe I can apply for a job. And back then, I actually sent out some applications. I wanted to move from sales into more of the marketing space. So I applied for some marketing jobs. But then I quickly figured out that there was a ton of people wanting to work remotely and only a very few offering remote work. So
yes, we've all figured that out.
Exactly. And that is actually why I think many people started venturing out on their own. And for me, I figured out it's easier actually to sell my own services and to use my skills having worked at LinkedIn to, like I mentioned, build my personal brand on LinkedIn, optimize my LinkedIn profile so that clients find me, but also I can find my potential clients and offer them services. So what I actually used to do at LinkedIn, helping companies to use LinkedIn as a sales platform, so more in an organic way. So really investing in building your employer brand, but also for freelancers and entrepreneurs, specifically in consultants, coaches, etc. How do you use LinkedIn to get in touch with your target audience and your potential clients? So I help my current clients and businesses with how to optimize your profile, how to grow your network with your target audience, how to reach out with using LinkedIn data and insights instead of just sending out cold messages out of the blue, and then how to actually get opportunities from there. So whether that's a remote job, whether you're looking for podcasts like this, that you want to get more exposure, or maybe clients as a freelancer or consultant. So that's what I've been doing in the last few years. And for me, it was easier instead of applying for a job I got this question organically from people as I was just sharing my message, what I used to do at LinkedIn. So organically received requests, and I've been doing workshops for companies, both virtual and in person, but since the pandemic, mainly virtual. And then one-on-one sessions or more tailored experiences for entrepreneurs and freelancers, etc.
Wow. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen companies make when they're trying to use LinkedIn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, LinkedIn, how, people usually view LinkedIn as a recruitment platform. So that's actually how I got my first job at LinkedIn, is that a recruiter reached out to me, and that's how LinkedIn is mainly known for. So people use LinkedIn as a resume platform. So they build their resume, or they only update their profile when they have to change jobs, etc. And that's what people working at companies do as well. However, I believe that LinkedIn is the number one most powerful online network in the world, with more than 900 million members by now, and more. I see it as a virtual networking party. So, but if you want to connect with an awesome LinkedIn top voice like Kalim, for example, you can just simply search him, and within seconds you can just send him a personalized message and reach out and start this relationship from there. It's not about directly going for a sale, and that's what most companies, what I see, do wrong, where they really want to go for that end result, but it's all about relationships and building relationships from the start. So, publishing valuable content, engaging in the private messages, offering valuable resources, etc., and grow organically from there. So, yeah, that's one thing that I usually see with clients I work with. However, now I decided to actually move a bit away from working with companies and individuals to help them with their LinkedIn strategy and personal branding, because now this Remote Workers Worldwide platform has grown to 100,000 members. And I was thinking, what can we offer those members to help them in their remote journey? So that's where I am at right now.
Yeah. So, not to put any pressure on you about that, because it's always challenging coming up with products and services, but you mentioned something earlier, and I'd love to just kind of get your thoughts. So, we're seeing a ton of return to office stories. I think we can all agree that those return to office stories are getting a lot of publicity because it strikes an emotion, right? And a lot of people like to click on things that strike emotion, so it might not depict actually what's accurately happening right now. But, you've already mentioned that applying for a remote job is really difficult right now. So if you're listening or watching, there are a lot of people now who are currently employed and have jobs that have to go into the office that are also applying for these remote jobs. So you're competing against people who are currently working and employed, also in addition to the people that are not employed. So what would you advise to an individual who wants to get a remote job? Mm-hmm. What would you advise them to do on LinkedIn with their profile? Like, what do you do if you've been applying, you're not getting any callbacks because you're going against a million people? I actually read somewhere that it's like one job was like a 0.06% chance of getting the job because they got so many applicants, and it was harder to get that job, and it was just like an administrative assistant job than to get into Harvard. Yeah. So like the chances of you getting this admin assistant job that was remote was harder than getting into Harvard. Exactly. So What's your advice to people that are looking for these jobs and probably don't have their LinkedIn profile optimized at all?
Yeah. It's really interesting because you make me realize like how actually the personal branding is so valuable for remote workers in any level, actually, like whether, you're looking or applying for a job, whether you are like us looking for maybe clients online or opportunities to appear in the media, etc. Or as a business, as a remote business, to really brand yourself. So I think that's really interesting, because for people who are looking for a job, I think that's how you stand out. I think I heard this from CEO of Remote, Job van der Voort, where I had a live session with earlier this year, that on one single job there's more than 1,000 job applications. So if you have a person with a background in marketing management, for example, like myself, there's probably like dozens of people who apply with the same background. So it's all about how do you stand out from the crowd, and that's what you can do with your LinkedIn profile, for example. So I always teach my clients kind of my 4-step strategy. It's called social selling on LinkedIn, and the number one step is to invest in your personal brand. And this is all, before even diving into your profile, think about what is it that you want to be known for and that you believe in. Like, what is your personal brand message that you want to be known for on LinkedIn? And, there's only one personal brand message that probably you are familiar with and you really believe in. That's like a mission statement for a company. So this is something that you can stand out from the crowd with if you create content around that brand message and optimize your profile to really showcase that on your profile as well. So that's just one example, right, of what I usually do with my clients. But taking a step back and think about what does that personal brand look like and what do I want to be known for before even going to your LinkedIn profile is crucial. So that's the next step. Then go into your LinkedIn profile and then have that on top of mind, and then optimize your profile with cool banner image at the back, for example. I always see this is one of the top mistakes I see people make. Again, whether you're looking for a job or whether you have your own business or you're a business yourself or a CEO, is not to have this banner image, because that's the first few seconds that you make this great first impression. So make sure you make a killer first impression with a background image that showcases that personal brand or that brand message that you want to be known for, and then as well through your profile in your about section, etc. So that would be the first step to get started and stand out.
Wow, y'all better rewind that. Y'all better rewind that.
I'm sorry,
back.
I was too busy scribbling notes. Could you repeat all of that, please?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we've talked about personal branding on this show before, but the way you just broke it down of just thinking about yourself first, I don't think we've had anyone really articulate it in that way. Like for me, it's like I want to be a top remote work expert or something like that. And maybe for Rick, he wants to be the voice of remote work or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Like, so then, just thinking like that, coming up with your mission, like I want to tell stories about remote work that connect to everyone's heart. And then basically, in the banner image, I used to just have an image. I used to think like, because I'm from New England, I had a lighthouse up there. It was a nice photo. I thought it was great. But then looking around, I noticed that people were like stylizing their background image based on their expertise. And I was like, well, shit, I'll use the LinkedIn top voice image because I think that is just such an easy and lame way to do it. So thank you very much. That was great.
Yeah, well, it actually gave me some inspiration as well. I think because it's actually, and always when I do this only one exercise already with people, they like it blows their mind. They're like, oh my gosh, this helps them so much just to, think about what is it that they want to be known for. So I'm actually going to include this in the, I'm working now on the VP community membership that I mentioned to you before this, and that's where we offer. So this is, we have the free community with 100,000 members, and now we're working to launch this new platform for VIP members to connect on a deeper level, to learn from each other and get access to more resources to up-level your remote journey. So I think this should be one of the resources. So I'm going to...
So we just created a product. Oh, and the other point that you made that hit really hard was this idea of, because I feel like what happens is people get on LinkedIn when they're desperate.
Yeah.
When they get on LinkedIn, they start becoming active when they're desperate. But at that point, it's too late.
Too late.
But that point that you made of creating content, like on your personal blog, and heck, you can now use LinkedIn as your blog because you can write articles on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But putting out content based on your mission statement in your brand.
Yeah.
I think that's the key part, like that people miss. It's like People ask me all the time, "Oh, how'd you get a top voice?" I was like, "Well, bro, I've been sharing remote work articles since 2013."
Exactly.
Like
Same here,
there's no cheap
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
skip to the line,
I
right?
love that. Yeah, that's you gave me inspiration already for for a content piece. But yeah, it's so true. Like you're too late if you are at that point where you need to have that job or you need to have that client or you need to, it's all about building those relationships. And then when you're ready, then when the time is right, you can reach out and it's a much smoother transition and you'll likely see more results then. Yeah, invest in your personal brand today. And I actually said it earlier this year. Your personal brand, I think, is the most valuable currency in 2023 and beyond.
I agree.
It's not just about your resume. Your resume alone is not going to to help anymore. It's about building your personal brand and leveraging platforms like LinkedIn to reach your ideal opportunities.
That is absolutely incredible. And now we have reached the moment of the show where I'm hoping that you can share with us and our audience in that sweet, smooth Dutch accent of a comical time, a memorable, an inspiring moment, or something funny that happened to you while you were working remotely.
Well, I'll try to get rid of the accent, but I probably can't.
Don't do that.
No.
We told you it's part of your
Please don't.
It's part of your brand, Mandy. What are you doing?
Oh, don't forget, you just told us the
You
brand.
just told us about that.
That's smart. I should make it part of my brand.
It is. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, here it goes. Comical. Well, I'm not sure if it's comical, but it was for sure like a memorable experience while working remotely. Actually, Kaleem, so we had one Zoom chat, I think last year when I was in Lisbon, right?
Okay.
It's like 1.5 years ago, I think, or longer, whenever.
Yeah. So
whenever
you're in
this was-
Lisbon.
So I'm in Lisbon, and a week later, I was going to go for a camper van trip to work remotely for a week with my partner. And we are there, so we have this, we have our laptops. We were planning to work remotely from cool destinations across the coast of Portugal. And
you're in a van, you said. So you're in a camper van.
Camper van, yes.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a small camper van. We don't have a shower. We do have like this small toilet thing that you need to pull out, and it's not very fancy at all.
It's a toilet thing. Okay.
It's not fancy, let's put it that way. But we did have a good Wi-Fi, and that actually came to handy when we, in the middle of the night, it was super dark, and we were stuck in the sand, and we were just getting stuck in the sand even more and more, and there was nobody around us at that time, and it was, I think, 11 p.m. at night, so there was just no way to get out. And
And you speak Portuguese, right? You're in Portugal?
And I don't.
Right?
No, I don't
Okay.
speak Portuguese.
Okay.
So the next day, I need to call the camper van owner, and he arranged a truck for us to come and get us out. But we were stuck for 18 hours. 18 hours in the middle of nowhere in the sand. But we had calls planned to work from there. So
Okay.
we ended up working from the camper van in the middle of nowhere, being stuck in the sand with perfect Wi-Fi. So nobody noticed during the calls, and it all worked out perfectly fine. And it actually turned out to be one of the best memories we had of that experience.
That is so
Unreal.
cool. That's great. So
These are the stories that keep us going.
yeah,
honestly.
they really do. So like
Yeah.
during those moments, you're stuck in the sand. When you called the person, what did they say? Like, how did you communicate with them? Did you use Google Translate? Did they just happen to speak English?
This person happily spoke English, so I was happy with that. But recently we were also working remotely in Italy, in rural Italy, somewhere in the mountains, and they didn't speak any English. So we use Google Translate all the time to communicate together. So that's highly recommended.
That's awesome. Did you get sand in your computer?
No, we didn't. No. So also would recommend working in the middle of nowhere in Portugal with a camper van.
Wow. Great.
Wow, Mandy, where can our viewers and listeners find you?
Yeah.
Well, of course, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Mandy Fransz is my last name, with a S and a Z at the end. So connect with me on LinkedIn, happy to chat. And of course, join the Remote Workers Worldwide community. Just type Remote Workers Worldwide at the top search bar. And I think Kaleem will add it as well in the show notes. Yeah, happy to connect, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. This was cool.
This has been an absolute pleasure.
Yes. And we're coming to the Netherlands, right, Rick? We're coming to the Netherlands.
Yes,
I'm already booking my ticket.
Yes, please come visit and tell me when you are, so we can have an in-person meetup here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon.
Great. Bye.
You've been listening to Remotely One. Visit us at remotely1.com/podcast for upcoming episodes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and download our episodes on your favorite podcast app.
Hey, don't forget to clock out.